Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 46 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. Last time, I showed you the basics of bees, and then I showed you how to completely bypass them with gendistry, which is a lot better. Between last episode and now, I've set up some common queens and a meadows queen with automation upgrades so that they will constantly put the bees back in and rebreed them, light upgrades so they will work at night, and seal upgrades so they'll work during rain. And all of this is so that I can continue to build a larger and larger stock of drones, also to start gathering more honeycomb, which I'm going to need this honey for future use, and so that I can, if I get really lucky, get a couple of extra common or meadows princesses out of this. Thanks to the fact that we are on Agrarian Skies difficulty, the fact that two of my common queens are ignoble does not matter. We'll get into more bees in a couple of episodes. Today, I'm going to start working on a house. Step one of building a new house is tearing down the old one. And while I work on that, I'm going to tell you what some of my plans are going to be. I figure a proper home should involve mostly a place of rest. I don't want this to be a place where I go and do work. I want this to be a place where I can go get away from work and enjoy myself. And to do that, I'm going to set up with no useful blocks. It's all going to be maybe a little bit of storage, but mostly just decorative, a cool place to come and hang out and chill. And well, that doesn't mean that it's going to be boring in here either. I have some interesting plans that I think you guys are going to like a lot. Along those lines, well, I won't give anything away. You'll have to wait and see. So, I'm going to get this tore down, and I'm going to get some materials to start building the new house. Today is going to be frame, foundation, maybe a little bit of the basement. We'll see how much time we have. See you soon. Hey folks, something odd has happened that was just too interesting to not to share. I've had an ocelot spawn. So these guys are only supposed to show up in jungle type biomes, and they need to be of sufficient height. But if I take a look at my map, the only jungle biome nearby is down here, as far as I can tell. Oh, right here. So it spawned literally in that little strip on my bridge, just by sheer random luck. So I'm not going to pass up this chance. I'm going to sneak up on it carefully with some raw fish. I'm going to get myself a pet cat. If I move towards him, he'll run away from me. So I need to wait until he decides that the fish that I have in my hand is interesting enough for him to come sneaking over to me. And then I can feed him. Oh, he's looking at me. I've got fish for you. Here he comes. It usually takes more than one fish to tame an ocelot. It can take up to 20. Or it could take one. There we go. I have a kitty. Now I need to name my kitty. So, let's see. How do I make a name tag? Name tags are made with paper, string, and slime balls. I can do that right here. And because she'll get a kick out of it. I thought this is how I could name cats. You know what? There's another way. If I pick... Wow, there's another one. That's unexpected. That's okay. I can get a pair of cats. And maybe kill that Enderman. You know what? I'll kill that Enderman first, just in case. Or he'll teleport away before I even have a chance to smack him. Hey, buddy. It's gonna be like that, then. Well, he can't have gone... Oh, you know what? I got my house tore down, and I've left an unlit area that things can spawn in. Just a tiny one, but that's all it takes. Let's fix that right now. There we go. That'll handle it temporarily while I wander over here and get that ocelot's attention again. Boy, he does not like those micro blocks, does he? Oh, he's sneaking towards me. Come here, kitty. I have fish for you. See, that one took a little bit. Oh, another tabby. That's okay. So he should follow me. Eventually. They're cats. They do what they want. Now, what I was showing you with the other one that's currently in the golden lasso. If I grab an anvil, which I'm going to need to make one, which I'm going to need to make the iron blocks to make one. This is what I get it for spontaneity. Everything is very clearly unplanned. And we'll just set that down right here for now. If I toss the golden lasso with the ocelot in there, I should be able to rename the ocelot, because it will amuse her. And there we go. That's one method. The other option to use the name tag involves placing the name tag on the menu, onto the anvil. And we're going to name this cat Jinx. And then if I find my other cat, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Because you're a cat, you like to be up on things. And I believe that they're smart enough not to fall off of things. I certainly hope they are, because I'm going to let them kind of wander and, you know, be cats. Fantastic. Oh, geez. I've made a little kitten. That's awesome. Alright. So, oh boy, they're going to all follow me. Here, you guys need to sit. Stay put. Where'd the little one go? You too. Because otherwise they'll follow me right off the edge here. Or maybe they won't. In any case, it is almost dawn, and I've missed out entirely on what I was planning to do tonight. So let me finish gathering materials, and I will see you in a bit. Alright, so the whole let them wander and be cats idea became a little bit too annoying with all of the meowing all of the time. I thought you guys would not appreciate that, so I've made them a home to my Thaumcraft room. They're going to hang out in there. Leave them sitting down. So I have most of my house cleared out. Well, actually, I have the entire house cleared out, and I have a nice place to start building. And I have also removed all of the extraneous machines that were in this area. The Witchwater farm is gone. The little wood section is gone. I wonder if I'm planning on doing something about soul sand and dirt creation in the next questing episode coming tomorrow. A little bit of self-hype. Also, I cleaned out the basement. All of those igneous extruders, don't need them anymore. I mean, I completed the cobble gen madness, and I had millions of cobble left over. Yeah. Speaking of which, I should see how my system is doing at clearing out all of the... Okay, so there's still a ton of double compressed cobblestone. But it's working on it. It's clearing out the double compressed cobblestone a little bit at a time, which is feeding the compressed into here, which is feeding the cobble into there. Not going to be a fast process. Give me that back. But not a big deal. It'll empty itself out eventually, and I have close to 2 million cobblestone at the moment, which is awesome. So, if I'm going to be doing a large-scale building project, and I am, I want to have some tools to help me along with that. Bibliocraft gives me those tools, and I'm going to show you what they are and how to use them. So, in Bibliocraft, I have access to the tape measure, which is made with some iron around a tape measure reel, which is just some yellow dye and some string. Make one of those real quick. Tape measure is a fantastic device that lets me very precisely measure distances, which will save me a lot of counting. Most of the rest of Bibliocraft are decorative blocks. A couple of them have some uses that I will show off later on. The screw gun from Bibliocraft is a very useful device that is fairly cheap to make, which allows you to rotate a lot of the Bibliocraft items around. I'll be using that later when I'm getting into more of the interior decorating side of the house. The drafting compass goes along with the map frame, which I'm not spotting immediately. There we go. Which allows you to add a waypoint to the map that you put in the frame. Kind of neat. So here's what the tape measure does. It has a couple of different modes, and you can change between them by shift and right click. Your options are either absolute measurement or north, south, east, west, and height. Now, in absolute measurement, if I were to measure from this point to this point, it will tell me that there are 24 blocks of absolute measurement in a straight line from here to here. If I were to do the same measurement in north, south, east, west, and height mode, if I measure from there to here, it will tell me that it is 19 blocks north and south, 17 blocks east and west, and 1 block of height difference. That can be fantastic if you want to, for example, get yourself a very carefully measured cube. You can measure from one corner to the next, and it'll tell you that that measurement was 9 north, south, 9 east, west, and 8 high. Yep, and my sludge boiler has poisoned me. Fantastic. All right, just about nighttime. So, thought I saw a creeper. This tells me that there are 18 blocks between this point and this point, which is just perfect. And it's perfect because this will allow me to build my walls in a pattern that will match up with the golden ratio. And I'm going to go over exactly what the golden ratio is. So the golden ratio is a fairly complicated subject that goes beyond the scope of this series, but I can give you a brief introduction and why it is important to aesthetics, especially for someone that's very logically and numbers oriented like myself. Two numbers are said to be in the golden ratio if their ratio to each other is the same as the ratio of their sum to the larger number. So, for example, I will have 5 blocks and 3 blocks. Well, A being 5 blocks is to B being 3 blocks, as A plus B being 8 blocks is to A. So, if I do the math out for that, that is that 5 is to 3 as 8 is to 5, which is fairly close to correct. It's hard to get exactly close when you're using small numbers like this. If you want a sequence of numbers that shows off the golden ratio fairly well, and in which basically every single one of those numbers is in golden ratio to the lower numbers in the sequence, look at the Fibonacci sequence, where it starts with 1, 1, and then you take the previous number and add the one before it. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so forth. Now, the reason this is important for aesthetics is if you take whatever large expanse of flat area that you have and you break it up along the lines of the golden ratio into sizes of 5 to 8 or 5 to 3 or 8 to 13 or 8 to 5, you will end up with something that just looks a little bit better than otherwise. It is more pleasing to the eye. The reason for this is this ratio, that curve of blocks, shows up very frequently in nature. You can find it in plant growth patterns, in seashell patterns, in the way that leaves blow around. It's just everywhere. It also shows up in some of our most famous architecture. If you take a look at the Parthenon, if you take a look at the Great Mosque of Cairo, or if you take a look at the work of Le Corbusier. So, I'm going to be making use of this golden ratio because it is a way for someone that I don't have an eye for aesthetics, but I can follow the theory and I can apply that theory. And then I can kind of fudge things afterwards and hope that it works out. No matter what you do, you're going to have to fudge things a little afterward. So if I have an expanse of 18 here, then I'm going to want to go probably 5 on each side. And I'm just going to mark that off. That should be from here to here is 5. Yes, good. And this 8 in the middle will give me a nice little expanse that I can use to make a good looking facade to my house. And the best way for me to accomplish this, I believe, is going to be to have the path extend those 3. And I'm going to build a bit of a porch that's going to be inset, probably 3 blocks or so. That way there are a couple of blocks worth of porch before the front wall. And these rooms here will be nice little areas that extend out from the bulk of the house. So I'll have a nice little recessed facade. Let me grab the materials I want to use to build the actual house itself, and I'll be right back. While I was gathering materials, night fell again, and it became time to make myself another building tool. So I want a builder's wand for any large-scale project. I've had one before, and I could easily make one again using 8 diamonds, but I don't want to use 8 diamonds to make a builder's wand. So I'm waiting for midnight so that I can complete the activation ritual. And if I look at the recipe on the division sigil, it will tell me all about this activation ritual. And I can use it to unenchant items and such once it's been activated. Starting on page 6, you will get detailed instructions. I'm going to run you through them. So you need close to a 5x5 dirt platform. You can use a little bit less, but you might as well use the whole thing. You need an enchantment table in the center, and you need to surround it with redstone. And if I shift right click the enchantment table with the sigil, it will tell me altar has a redstone circle, altar and circle placed on dirt, altar can see the moon, altar has sufficient natural earth, altar is in darkness, and the time is right. Perform the sacrifice. So, to do so, I take any animal or zombie or something, bring it near the enchantment table, and kill it. And as you can see, that pig was immediately turned into a pig zombie. Actually, I think it has to be a pig, very specifically. All of the dirt around the enchantment table was turned into cursed earth, which is giving the zombies and such that spawn on it extra power. Oh, nope, it could have been that zombie. However, this is no longer natural dirt. And the activation ritual has 256 uses. This is very, very dangerous normally. Because I have bound armor and flight and all kinds of really cool, powerful blood magic gear, it's really not that much of a threat. I'm going to kill this pig ninja because I can. Maybe I can't. That's a little odd. Well, hopefully I didn't just crash that out. Something weird just happened. Something very weird happened. There's a couple of those infernal mobs that the server does not like very much. Just the modifiers on them do not agree with servers. And now it is very much dangerous over here. There's a ton of mobs that really not a big threat, and I could take them out easily, but I'd really rather just skip all of that. It's a bit of a mess. So to do so, I'm going to drag my bed over here and take a quick nap. And then it's daytime, and the monsters will stop spawning, and most of them will burn to death in the sun. Guys, I really don't care about you. There we go. Come on, creepers, explode, kill each other. That is fun. Alright, one mess cleaned up. So, what am I going to do with this activated division sigil? Well, the division sigil can be used in a crafting table to create unstable ingots. To do so, I need diamond, and I need iron. And to make use of them, I'm going to need some sticks. You want to get well prepared in advance for this, because if you make an unstable ingot, you only get 10 seconds to use it, or you die. As it says, divide by diamond error. This ingot is highly unstable and it will explode after 10 seconds. Will also explode if the crafting window is closed or the ingot is thrown on the ground. These ingots do not stack. Do not craft unless ready. Must be crafted in a vanilla crafting table. This will kill me. Even through my bound armor, this is an instant death for me. So, because I only have 10 seconds, I'm going to get my one stick prepared in advance. I'm going to grab my unstable ingot. I'm going to put my stick underneath it, and I can see that I have plenty of time. Countdown is still going. Make one builder's wand. Fantastic. But I'm not done there. Builder's wand is cool and all, but it's not the only reason I wanted this division sigil. Otherwise, I would have just used the 8 diamonds and saved myself the threat of potential death. No, I also want to make myself a couple of other items. I'm going to need 2 unstable ingots for the next item I want to make. And I can shift click this and it will create both at the same time. Two ingots with 2 angel blocks makes precision shears. Precision shears are pretty awesome. They can, with a right click, they can break any block. And as you see, when you break a block, it goes into a brief deactivated state. The fun part is, it's literally any block. And, they do go a little bit slower while flying. But that's okay. The real fun of the precision shears is if you hold shift and right click with them, you will instantly grab whatever item you're looking at. Just poof, it is in your inventory. And then you can set it back down. They have, I can't see because I don't have that mode enabled. Let me change that. They have 1024 uses, and I believe that they can be enchanted. So let's see if I can luck out and get some unbreaking on these. No, they cannot be enchanted. Maybe I could use it in the anvil, but it's just not that important. The reason I wanted these was because it's a bit of a pain to slowly break through things while I'm flying. Well, anything except these stone bricks. The precision shears can break through anything instantly. I mean, I can go pick up one of these beacons in just like that. When even standing on the ground with my pick, it would take quite a while to get the beacon. So they're a really fantastically useful builder's tool. Alright, I have all of my tools, my tape measure, my builder's wand, my precision shears, which for some reason I'm having a lot of trouble saying today. Now all I need to do is decide on the aesthetic that I want to use. So, I'm going to finish grabbing things, be right back. One interesting bit of note as I'm gathering materials, I've decided that I want purple carpet. To make purple carpet, I need purple wool. The easiest way for me to get a bunch of purple wool is to dye my sheep's purple, using a purple dye per sheep. And if I then use some shears, which I think I have some, I don't know if the precision shears work. They do. Now, when those sheep regrow their wool, it'll still be purple. And I can make the purple wool into purple carpet. Now, you can use the purple wool to pulverize and get a chance at some purple dye. But every purple wool you run through the pulverizer only has a 5% chance of giving you purple dye. It's not really worth it. Unless you have, huge, massive tons of wool that you're producing through a couple of ranchers. I'm not going to have that much wool to be able to produce the kinds that I would need for the purple dye quest purely out of grinding up wool. But it is one option if that's how you want to go. It's not the direction I'm going to take. So, I've decided that I'm going to use a fairly modern look. And to go with that look, whoops, not bright, brick. I'm going to want to use a particular kind of brick from Mine Factory Reloaded. For my edging and detailing, I'm going to be using paved stone bricks, these little ones, which are created from stone slabs and bricks. Now I'm going to teach my system how to make those so that I don't have to do it myself. That was some leftover preparations for the next bee episode there. You can see that I've taught my system how to make most of the gendistry items. And I'm getting to the point where I might need to expand my system a little again. So, can you make me a stack? No problem. The question is, do you know how to make stone slabs? You do not. So I'm going to teach you how to make the stone slabs. That way it will always be able to make me more when I need it to. So if I grab out that stack, tell it to make me another stack, still no problem. Fantastic. All right. So that's going to be my edging and detailing. The quartz blocks will be my primary walls, as well as some glass. But I'm not going to use standard glass. I like to use either thickened or edged glass from extra utilities. Thickened glass is made by smelting up sandy glass, which comes from sand and glass. It takes 4 sand to get you 4 sandy glass, which gets you 4 thickened glass. So it's not any more expensive, it's just more steps to process. And then you can make edged glass by using the thickened glass in that pattern. Thickened glass can also be used in place of any regular glass, or to make some pretty cool patterns of glass from extra utilities. If I could just find them. There we go. The square glass, the dark glass, which you've seen me use, the heart glass, which is very pretty, the glowstone glass, which is pretty neat because it's all sparkly, but that's more particle effects, and you know how I feel about those. Swirling glass is fairly decorative. Obsidian glass, golden edge glass. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to use the obsidian glass because that looks cool, and I think that the edge around it will give it a little bit more pizzazz. So, let me teach my system how to make obsidian glass. And I'll start off with a stack of that. Awesome. Now, the flooring that I'm going to be putting the purple carpet on top of is going to be burnt quartz. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That almost worked out, but not quite. So let's start putting some of these materials into the world, show you what it's going to look like. And then maybe get some lights down so that this stops being an issue. Now, rather than have a symmetrical house, because as much as we think we like symmetry, we really don't, I am going to build in a less symmetrical pattern. This quartz looks awesome. To make burnt quartz, you start with regular quartz and just toss it in a furnace. So this gives you an idea of what the floors will look like. And that's pretty loud. It's pretty bright. But you know what? I like loud and I like bright. You guys wanted to see me do aesthetics? Well, here you go. Loud and bright. Clean out some inventory. Start putting up some walls. Now, most modern house designs have the corners be some form of brick or cobble. I'm using paved stone for that. And then the wall proper uses usually some form of white block, which in this case is going to be my quartz. And for this particular area, I don't want to fill in with anything there, actually, because I don't need to. That's going to be hidden all the time. I'm going to have a line of the wall come right down to there. And I'm going to fill my window into this area. Now, if you notice, I'm making good use of the golden ratio here. I have my 5 versus 3. I have my 1 versus 2. Over on this side, it's not quite working out perfectly. But then again, it doesn't always work. You're not going to make it perfect every time. I like to have my floors on the inside at least 3 tall, with the ceiling on the 4th level. Occasionally I'll go 1 step higher than that. And in this case I think I'm going to, because it'll work out. And there we have what will be the first room once it's done being constructed. I am going to want to go 1 higher than that just to get things looking quite the way I want them to. Which means on the outside, I'm going to want some form of break right there. Going to make myself a little patio here using the alternate border stone. Actually, I'm going to use the regular border stone for the patio because that's going to be a pretty neat look, I feel. I like the way that it forms that pattern. And this is going to be the primary entrance. Now, I want some dirt because I'm going to have a little garden area right here. Which I'll come back and fill in with some interesting little details later on. And now I can get the rest of the floor building. And I'm going to grab more burnt quartz, finish filling in this floor, and get the rest of the walls put up so that you can see what the first layer is going to look like. Back soon. Alright folks, as you can see, things have gone through a few iterations here, and I think that I've got something that I can be happy with at this point. So, to keep with the more modern aesthetic, I decided to move things a step away from the ground so that the entire structure is very clearly itself and not a part of the terrain. It's an intentional decision to break things up and make the structure more clearly other. The white and the contrast, also a very important key portion of this particular building style. Everything seems to be built from blocks that are just a little unwieldy. Things that slightly overlap each other. This wall, clearly, you know, not designed to fit this house. It seems to be a bit of a prefab. I'm actually going to extend it 1 space into the house. And you'll be able to easily see that it actually extends into the home through the window that's going to be there. The roof is overlapping in strange ways. There's a little patio built, which has been edged off and ringed away with the quartz. And this will be the little garden area right here between the factory and the home. And I think 1 more will get me overlapping by a block. Yes, fantastic. I went 1 higher on the, well, basically everything just now because it felt a little bit better. Can I turn this carpet back into wool? No, but I can make flags or sleeping bags with it. Maybe I'll do that. I made an awful lot more carpet than I needed. So I also have a lot more quartz covers than I need. So I'm going to turn some of these back into blocks a step at a time. And the parts that can't be blocks will be crafted back into covers. Just to save on inventory room. So the final remaining challenge, well, besides getting everything into place properly, I want to get some cool looking windows onto this thing. Love that builder's wand. And I'm thinking a bit of a pillar right there, which will leave me a nice little area, kind of interior. Yeah. Yeah, that should be neat. And to make your pillar a little bit more textured than just flat like that, you can include a slab at the top and the bottom. Just on the ground. There we go. That looks fairly sturdy. Alright, so what am I going to do for the windows? Well, I am going to be using this obsidian glass. However, I'm going to be using obsidian glass slabs, I believe. They're going to give me the look that I want. And if I place them like this, no matter which side I view them from, as long as I don't view them from the edge, they look pretty good. And they naturally connect. And I really like this whole, that look to it right there. I'm not even sure how to describe it properly. Now, if I turned this set sideways-ish. Oh, unfortunately, that doesn't work. Here. Okay, this took a couple of attempts, but I finally got the window looking somewhat lovely. That is a weird sentence, somewhat lovely. I got the window looking the way I want it to look. It looks nice. I like it this way. I need to sleep before monsters swarm me. And to accomplish this look, you use your slabs, you recess them, and you very carefully place the cover on the side of one of the slabs. And that way you have a full block here, almost 3 full blocks here, and a full block here. And again, this brings in the whole, in a weird way, the golden ratio, because you've got your 3:2. And you maintain a little bit of that symmetry that we do like some symmetry, but it keeps it, that wall to the side stops it from being purely symmetrical. It's just, we're weird. We think we like things we don't actually like. So, for a proper modern household, you're going to want to have all of your windows in either the sunrise or the sunset direction. You're going to want all of those walls to be windowed. I'm going to make this a wall of windows. And then, for your privacy concerns, you put up some real walls, some full, non-window walls on the other edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rest of this built real quick. Builder's Wand does not help on multi-blocks. And I will cut back in once I have the first floor constructed, show you guys what I have, and you can let me know what you think of my little house between this episode and next one in the comments. Now, I plan on making additions to this house. There will be a basement and there will be a second story. And once I have all of the structure complete, I'll start improving the interior and designing the rooms themselves. Back soon. So I was getting everything built, and I decided, you know what? I'm on a skyblock. Who am I going to get privacy from? Also, I ran out of white quartz. So instead, I have a full set of obsidian glass walls. Also, I just think that that looks neat. It's very, sci-fi fantasy, giant wall of glass looking out over nothing. I should really go kill that ender portal at some point just so that it's, nether portal, not ender portal, just so that it is no longer obstructing my view. Here's the completed house. Well, not the completed house. Here is the shell of the first floor of the house. I have the walls, I have the windows, I have the carpet, I have a neat little patio. Nice little entryway that leads into it. I'm pretty happy with things so far. I think I might expand that entryway 1 block. I'm going to keep tinkering with it practically forever because it's what I do. So, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. It is not an architectural style that everyone is very, very happy with, but I think that it looks pretty neat, and it leaves me enough room right over here to put probably a little fountain in, because I think that that'll look cool. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you are enjoying the series thus far. If you are, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you aren't, comment anyway. Tell me what you don't like so that I can change things to your liking. See you next time.